All right, let's take a look at Caterpillar. This is like one of those stocks that you use to it's like an index stock that determines the market, like it's one of the core industrial index stocks. So this is like a cool one. Earnings are forecast to grow 15.2% a year. That's a lot for Caterpillar for a large cap company like this. Let's take a look at financials. Valuation. Huge price to earnings, price to sales, price to book. This is like an S&P 500 stock, so everybody buys this with their indexes. Can't really tell anything about the value. Ooh, a lot of debt. Colossal, kind of like approaching this 1.0 ratio for assets and liabilities. I don't see anything here that's like a compelling 1% dividend. I don't see anything from a fundamentals perspective that's compelling, but it's kind of like a macro stock, so let's see what's going on with it. Maybe we can look at it technically. It's kind of hard because it's part of so many indexes that it just has this constant flow of capital in it. It's almost like charting the S&P 500. Shoot. Auto. Okay. Now I'm seeing the structure. Let's look at 1 year. 5 years. Yeah, it almost is like charting the S&P 500, to be honest with you. Let's look at this extreme long-term view. You have like some ascending trend lines, so that means the stock is like, there's a lot of convexity. It's an uptrend. You have this capping line here. So let's take a look at it from, what's the trend line that I want to pick? Maybe this one. So, this is one of those ones that just goes straight up. It's like looking at the S&P 500 chart. You have this long-term upwards trend line, and generally when you have a ascending wedge like this, it's actually a bearish symbol. So you bounce around in this trend line, and then you have some type of deep correction, and then you continue to go up like this. But this one broke northwards out of the trend line, so you have a hard stop at 265. That's a big drop for your logical stop loss. Maybe you could take this one if we get back in the wedge, 407. Let's look at it at smaller time frame. You have this pattern here. Ascending, expansive. I want to say 406. I don't know. I honestly can't make heads or tails of this thing. I want to look at the Dow, because this is like you're really buying the Dow when you're buying the stock. Is this like inverted? No, this is not the right one. I need the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index. This is a little bit more like structured. I'll take a Fibonacci here. 5741. Let's look back at Caterpillar. I mean, look at the Dow Jones. You had a upward trend line. You're going up. You had this corrective period where you broke out of the range. You retested the range. You confirmed out. We're looking at Fibonacci target 1, logical, and then up here a stretch. So we're looking at like maybe a 10% gainer in the Dow Jones. This one's front running. Let's take a look at this. Maybe you can try to test that. I don't know, just hold it. It's like buying the Dow. Dow looks pretty good from what I'm seeing. Logical stop loss, maybe you could take it at 538, but you know, could easily do this. Peak. Go here. I want to see the daily price action on this. I want to see like how much leverage you get to the actual Dow Jones. Like this thing is moving like nothing. It barely moves. It's a green day, like a solid spike green day. It's so stable. What is this? Denominated by a day. A good day is like 3%, 3.5%, 4.5%. Let's look at the Dow. Dow Jones. What's a good day on the Dow Jones? Yeah, Dow Jones doesn't even, it hits like 1%. Looks like it's front running the Dow Jones. It's a little bit like a leverage play on the Dow. Dow looks really great. Doesn't look like it's going down. Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy the Dow with leverage, that's not with leverage, but you know what I mean, with just like a higher beta. It's basically what you're doing by owning Caterpillar. And I would say it even front runs the Dow a little bit because it already broke out of this wedge. So I think you're going to see Dow spike in 2026. And let's say what's 10% good year. Maybe you reach like 52. Yeah, 50, 52 on the Dow. I mean, it's a macro cap stock. It's a giant. It's kind of like yeah. I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's just kind of like you want the Dow with a little bit more gas to it. This is kind of not the sexiest thing though. This double topping kind of pattern right here. I could see it going to 42, and that'd be totally normal. Maybe we have a bad year on industrials. And then you go back to CAT and you have to look at what that would mean for the Caterpillar, and it would be a retest actually of this upper trend line bound. It would be this. You'd go back down to 496. You'd be taking a 20% hit on the year. Or over the next 2 years. But then, you know, you hold it for the next 10 years and you're going to get to 936. That's a two-bagger over... It's a two-bagger over like the next 5 years. 1% dividend. I don't know. I'm not in love with it, but it's not like terrible. I like a little bit more beta to my stocks. I can't even think of like a Caterpillar alternative. Let's check one out. I just want to see what these things are doing. Industrials is Terex. Let's check out a mid-cap version of Caterpillar for a little bit more gas. Is this it? Yeah, this thing's just a steady climber. Boom. Boom. Popped out the top. This is like bullish consolidation action off the top of the trend line. Let's take a look at this. Let's go here. 151, 149, three bagger. I'm bullish I'm bullish Caterpillar, but the time frame. Oh, look at this. Such a long time frame. Look at this consolidation price action. '07 to 39. Am I on drugs? This is screwed up. 2025. '07, 15 years consolidation, yet zero price action. 1.7% yield. It's probably going to go up though. You reach this 149 three bagger. That means cat is probably bullish because you're doing a 360-degree analysis with other people in the space. But I'm actually convinced it's going to retest. You had no retest of this trend break. Even if I look at this candlestick, Firefly or whatever, it's a bullish candlestick, and then you had a negative candlestick. So you had this bullish consolidation, and now we're a little bit waffling, and then it would be totally logical to retest this. Boom. You're hitting that. You're in 2026 is a bearish year for Caterpillar. I could see that. It's had a little bit of a run up. It's a good year in 2025. An excellent year for this stock. Yeah, you went up 33%. Kind of bearish short term. $7.45. I'd rather just own the S&P, honestly. In some ways. But this is a good reward, you know? Yeah, this is like, if you have a lot of micro-cap, mid-cap stocks, it's not the worst. Not really my type of investing. I'm really not liking these wicks. Because you had a bullish wick here, then you had a bearish wick. Because that's a anytime you see these dojis, I call them dojis, where you have like the small line, there's like vacillation in conviction, and you could take a 20% haircut, retrace these two candles. That'd be totally normal and shoot. Yeah. Long-term bullish, short-term bearish. That's my final guess. Who cares? It's the freaking Caterpillar. It's the Dow Jones. You just hold it for 10 years. I think it's not bad for if that's what you want it for.